So 2 years ago, my ex-fiance, who I'd been in a relationship with for almost 10 years. Like, ladies, what are y'all doing? 10 years doing what? That's a marriage, okay? Let's just get that out there. That is a partnership. That is a committed relationship. Y'all just didn't sign a document. That's a marriage, okay? Fiance for 10 years. That's what we call Lord of the Rings. Those are the people who chain you to a bed, using a ring to titillate you. Yeah, very soon. Very soon. Remember, we're engaged. Very soon. Oh my goodness. Okay, so go back to it. Who I'd been in a relationship with for almost 10 years, unceremoniously, just left me. Y'all heard that? Yep. After 10 years. The person got up and left. Didn't say a thing. Packed up their things and left. And so it says, it never fully made sense to me. There was no warning signs. We were actively planning our wedding. Tell me about it. You've been planning it for 10 years. We were actively planning our wedding. Finally agreed to try for a baby. Hello. And we were both in our 30s at the time, and time was ticking. You think? Then one day, he started acting sort of off. Wasn't saying I love you back when I say I love you. Before he left for work for the day, was spending more time out drinking with friends than he would at home with me. He'd been struggling with some health problems since COVID. We've all been down the mental health range. So respect to anybody who's still struggling. And we all have the ups and downs. Okay. And so, I assumed he was just doubling down and trying not to spiral out. Okay. There we go. Oh, our light has sent us. That's our warning light. We done. This is our last one for sure. So let's on our backup. Let's use our TV now for a backup light. Y'all see how I position the telly so that it serves up that extra light? Go on. Anyways, okay, so I'll go back to it and I'll be fast so that the light doesn't run out again. And it says, so I sat down with him one day and just asked him if everything was okay with him. He tried to brush it off initially and kept saying he was fine. So I changed the question and asked if we were okay. He looked like he really didn't want to answer. So I asked again. He paused, and in that moment, I knew it was over. I asked if he still loved me. He said he loved me but wasn't in love with me. Yeah, you're giving him 10 years. How about, and now you want to force him to actually write on a document that he's committed to you. He hasn't been committed to you in that 10 years. That's all he's telling you. Okay? And then I asked him if he still loved me. He said he loved me, but wasn't in love with me anymore. And that was it. Within a week, he'd moved out, leaving 90% of his belongings to be collected later at a later date to serve as a constant reminder that he had just gone. Oh my God. Guys, are you listening to this? To say it hit me hard was an understatement. I spiraled massively. Of course you did, honey. Of course you did. I was at the lowest point I had ever been in my life. So I tried. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I'm not going to use the word. She tried to unalive herself because it hurt so much. And she was feeling like something was so wrong with her. Something had to be so wrong for her something was so wrong with her for him to up and leave her after 10 years. Fortunately, a friend managed to get me the help I needed and got me to the hospital in time. I had done some serious damage and I felt awful about it after. How could I do this to myself? But then life got a little easier and I got back to myself. I ended up dating that friend for a few months later. A lot of people said it was too soon to move on, but honestly, I never set out to have a relationship at all. But he was a constant support and presence and reassured me that there was nothing wrong with me and made me want to spend more time and truly gave time for me. We had a beautiful relationship filled with love and laughter, and much to our surprise, ended up pregnant 9 months into our relationship. We decided to keep the baby, and even though our relationship was still in its early stages, 9 months later, we had a beautiful daughter. And we're still as strong as ever today and continuing to build an amazing family together. Good for you. Composure, how are you? Good for you. Like, my goodness. Talk about, oh my God. Okay, so now on to the present day. I guess my ex has now been reflecting on the past, and recently, due to a lot of people passing away in his family, his mother of recent time reached out and asked me whether I'd be willing to meet up with him. Something to get off his chest. She said she didn't know he wanted to talk to me, and something he could only discuss with me. And she said she would understand if I said no. I'm like, no. Anybody, I don't know. He can get it off his chest with a priest. Is it me? Is it just me? Am I being unfair? I'm like, no. Anybody else? No. But I decided to think about it for a few days and decided to agree. I agreed and would meet up with him at a local coffee shop. Got there early because, Mama needs her caffeine to fix up for the day. And already sat down. When he came in, gave me the saddest looking smile. I merely just nodded at him, motioned him to sit down, and I was a little bit speechless. And then he sat down there and he said that when we started trying to have a baby and nothing was even happening, and we're closely tracking my ovulation cycle and testing every day, he realized something wasn't right. So he secretly took a day off work to see a fertility doctor. How are you? To see a fertility doctor, and then found out that due to an undiagnosed issue on one of his testicles, the likelihood of him ever being able to conceive and have a biological child was incredibly low. He knew that I loved him so deeply that I would have given up that dream of having a child, and he didn't want that to be, and didn't want to hold it to his conscience. And so a life without a family, he didn't know what that would hold for me. He kept apologizing profusely for hurting me so much that the process of trying to rationalize, like, excuse me, you didn't trust her enough to share this? Somebody you've been with for 10 years, you didn't think you owed her the ability to trust her with that detail and make her choose. Instead, you put her in a space where her mental health, oh my God, I'm sorry, bye with all of that. I ultimately just sat down there in silence for a few minutes and just looked at him dead in the eyes and said that was never his decision to make, period. That's so disrespectful. That was not his decision to make. He took away that decision from me. He took away the choice, and he blindly nearly destroyed me in the process. So I got up and left. It's been a few days and I'm still processing. My partner knew I was meeting up with my ex, and he knows something is up and is giving me space until I fully feel ready to talk about it. Like I did. My ex honestly did think that it was okay to come and say this to me now so that we can be friends. Hell no! I don't even have anything. Well done to her on just shutting the door and I'm sorry. Okay, so that's the end. There's no advice to be given here. You are worthy, you are deserving of love, of kindness, of respect, okay? Your self-esteem should not be knocked down because somebody else is trying to uplift themselves. Note that to self. You are enough. And if somebody chooses to be with you and they have chosen not to act accordingly, baby, step. Get a step in. Listen, better to be alone. Better to be single alone than be in a relationship with somebody who doesn't want you there. I said what I said. On that note, have a lovely weekend, my lovelies.